Hey, what's going on, guys? This is TerrenceRe, and I'm back at you with another stock market update. I'm gonna get this video out to you before the opening bell Monday morning, so then that way you guys will be equipped with some nice looking charts. So right now, what you're looking at, I have the SPX up. I am going to close this up and make use of my full screen. And showing this chart right now, the SPX. The reason why I have it up is because I'm gonna start going over a little candlestick training during the videos. Right now, we got what you would call a harami, um, and you see we got a full this candlestick right here from Friday at the close is inside of the whole body of this candlestick, and this would make what you would call a harami. And in some candlestick training, they call it like I want to say like a something like a baby or something like that, like a pregnant woman is abandoned baby or something like that. I think I've seen heard that in I can't think of one of the technical analysis books I read, but generally people call it a harami. And if you you see what could make it look like a pregnant woman, so like this is the body and this is the belly. That's kind of funny, but anyway. Generally we call this just a harami. And if this was like a doji, so if you had a doji right here, it would be like a harami cross. So this is just a regular harami. So generally when we see something like that, we look for big moves off of it, either to the upside or the downside. Now, um, looking at the expected move for the week of the S&P 500, it's only 47, and we get that by coming to the Friday close weekly. So what April 4th will be Friday. Looking at that, got a $47.52 expected move. So that doesn't give us a lot of room. It's saying that the market has priced in that we basically gonna go sideways. Um, Now that doesn't necessarily mean that, but I like to have that going forward for the week. So it's letting me know like not to expect a whole lot out of the market. That doesn't mean we won't get some individual big moves, but anything outside of this is unexpected, right? So with that being said, on Friday, I seen the news come through, but it came through after the market closed. So I wanted to talk about this so we could pay attention to look for this when the market opens up Monday. We actually be able to see it when the futures open up today. This alert came through. It says, and this is from CNN Business: Bank failure. Kansas Heartland Tri-State Bank closed by FDIC. Now this was published at 7:51 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So this is after the market closed. So the market didn't have a chance to react to this news. So we had another bank closure. Says Heartland Tri-State Bank of Elkhart, Kansas failed on Friday with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation taking control, FDIC. Now, with that, with us having another bank failure, now you got to keep in mind we also had another 25 basis points increase to the um, interest rate hike this week as well, announced by the the Fed. So that happening, interest rates still going up. So we got to look at these banks that we thought. I think we had some banks fail like back in May, right? Um, and or maybe it was a little bit before then. But with those bank failures, we thought maybe that was under control. So when those, so let's see how the market opens up. If it's gonna take that well, you gotta think about it. Even with this expected move was calculated while the market was closed. Excuse me, before the market was closed. So this news came out afterwards. And keep in mind also, that's why I like charting. I'll look at the charts first and then I'll look at the news. But remember, that's why I'm talking about this Harami. This Harami, generally you look for breakouts. when you get this type of candlestick pattern. So maybe the candlesticks is telling us that something is going to happen, right? So we want to be on the lookout. So what do you want to look for? If you can wait the Monday, or you can do like I do. Like I'm a market junkie. So I'm always looking at the market. And that's why I have the futures up. These futures will open up Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you'll see the /ES, which is the futures of the S&P 500. I'll have the VIX, the volatility futures /VX. You have /NQ, which is the NASDAQ, /YM, which is the Dow futures, and /RTY, which is the Russell futures. I will be watching the Russell futures, which the Russell has a lot of regional banks in it. So the NASDAQ doesn't have banks in it, to my knowledge. So we should see the move happening first. If the market is going to react to this news, we're going to see it in the Russell futures. So I'll be watching the tape on Sunday, just to, like I said, because I'm a junkie like that. So I want to know what the market is doing, right? So we'll be watching these Russell futures. I expect them to open down a little bit, but I could be wrong, right? So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. We also wanted to look in now. I think last week's video, or maybe the week before, I talked about, I'm about getting ready to pull up the NASDAQ futures. This is an intraday chart. This is the hourly setup. So each candlestick is an hour. And you see when we got that down move in the NASDAQ, I charted up put some Fibonacci levels on it. And I still expect it to make it down to this level right around here, right around 15,362. Now it hasn't done it yet. We had the market has retraced and has gone up a little bit, which is fine. Um, I'm still short the Nasdaq, and I'm short in the QQQ, and so I'll be holding my position. When will I know that I'm wrong? If the market goes up and takes out this high right here, then I'll just take my loss. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But I know when I'm right and when I'm wrong. So once it comes up here and takes out 16,000, what is that, 60, then I'll take my loss and I'll close the put whatever, and then I'll be holding until it gets down. I'll probably close it out once it gets to 15.4 if it makes it down that far. And if you want to look at, now that was the /NQ, those are the futures of the NASDAQ. Basically got the same setup. If I pull up the Qs, I pull up the triple Qs. Now it's gonna look a little different because it's not the futures. And I also have some levels on here. And it just hit this retracement level right here. So we'll see. Um, I also want to talk about Microsoft. Microsoft took a big downward move last week. And I got a little short in Microsoft. So let's talk about it. As soon as it comes up, and you can see we got this down move here. We got a pull back. And then it came into this level right here. Like this is my sweet zone, that 0.382 and the point 618. So when I get it down, get a retracement to that zone, then I start putting my retracements on, and then I start looking at extension levels. All right, so you can see it hit the 61.8 right here, and it started coming down. I don't remember. I think I bought a put on this day. I was up on the position. Now I think I'm relatively flat because we retraced a little bit on Friday. But here are my levels for Microsoft. I do expect it to come down, make it to 325. Um, that's what I think, right? And that's when I will close out. I own a put in Microsoft as well, and so I'll be looking to close it out at 325. Now the next level after that is 310. Now the further the levels are, down, the lower the probability of it getting there. For it to make it to 325, you can easily come here, and I think I'm right around in September, if I'm not mistaken. And so if we look at now, I can come over here on you should be able to do this on any, um, I know they have Delta on Fidelity, because I trade on Fidelity. Um, I trade on Fidelity sometimes too, and but I don't know if they have probability of touch. That's why I like for to use TastyTrade or either Thinkorswim for my technicals. So if you come over here and you go to touch percentage, now you see where it says 325. If we follow that over, I got a 63% probability of touching here. That's why I like to use the option chain, even if I'm scalping, even if I'm, you doing day trading, it gives you the numbers. And so with a probability of touch of 63% of just getting to 325, so that's letting me know I'm well within the expected move. I got a good shot of price action getting me there. I got a $21 expected move over the next 47 days. Now, you want to be the key to this and being able to, shall I say, trust these numbers and these percentages is making sure that you use liquid stocks. Of course, Microsoft is liquid. We can look at the open interest and see thousands of contracts and volume, and over here in open interest and volume. And also, we can we can look at you can also look at, if you look at how many shares of the stock are trading, 28.5 million on the volume for the shares of stock. So we know that it's a liquid stock, and where I generally like to use the monthlies when I'm looking at probabilities and touch and stuff like that. Use the monthlies on this platform. If it has a W, that lets you know that it's a weekly. So anything that doesn't have that W, you can see that is a monthly, right? And so you want to use those to get your expected moves and stuff like that. Now, so right there, I've given you guys some to go into the week, with a nice what to expect. Um, Especially with this setup and Microsoft, I like the setup here to stay short. Now Microsoft is in the NASDAQ. So if Microsoft was to go lower, I expect it to take the rest of the NASDAQ a little lower too. Microsoft is also, if I'm not mistaken, is in the Dow. Is Microsoft in the Dow? Let's take a look. I'm gonna pull up the Dow market indices, Dow Industrial Average. Yep, there go Microsoft. So what the Dow has been strong. I did buy back, get long some shares in the Dow, and you can see right here. Now I'm looking at DIA, which is the ETF of the Dow, and with that, owning that, I got my next level for the Dow is right up here around 363. So the market is kind of sending mixed signals all around, but to have uh, basically a long portfolio. The majority of my portfolio is long because of what I own stock wise, and just buying puts, just trying to take advantage of little short bursts to the downside. It's not too hard. I was asked, um, by a family member if I own like Amazon, and I was like, nah, I don't own Amazon as an individual stock, but I like to own ETFs. When you own the S&P 500, you own these big stocks for the most part, and you don't have single stock risk. And so, you can hedge that. You can, however, the overall market starts to do something like this, that's when you start to get short, in my opinion. And you can kind of hedge your long positions, right? Um, Now, let's take a look at. I'll take a look at some of the favorites. We'll look at Tesla. As you can see, Tesla, uh, it hit it. If you look at the past few videos, it came up and hit the level that I had it at. So what I did was I put on a retracement from the beginning of this move up, and I want to see, and you can see that it's right down here at the 0.382. So let's see what happens. Um, you can see on my stochastic that I got a little double bottom down here, and it looks like Tesla wants to try to turn up. No pun intended. But let's see what happens. I don't really have a trade for it. I'm just watching it. Once it finished here, I'm looking for another move, right? Now I want to see if it was to come down and take this low out. If it comes down and take this low out, we could see support down here at this gap right around 240. So if you're looking for places to kind of buy and get long again, Tesla, you could wait to maybe 240, possibly. Now, if you see it come up and the stochastic turns up right here and crosses, and maybe it takes this out, excuse me, may not be a bad area to buy now, to be honest with you. I just don't like it at this area. And let's look at the MACD, and you can see the MACD was still trending lower. So I want to see what happens. Um, Me, I would like to, like I said, I like to see it come down around this 240, 235 area where this gap is, fill this gap. And then for me, that's when I would start like looking at trying to maybe get long Tesla. Um, let's take a look at, let's see, Meta broke out last week after its earnings. Let's see. I still don't, I don't want to, me personally, I wouldn't want to get long right here. Look at this move. Computer moving a little slow today. All right. You see this move? Look at this. So me, I don't want to I wouldn't want to get long right here. It's not quite overbought. Do we think Meta can I think it can go higher. It's just look at the move. When you look at it, I'm gonna make it where you can see it on the full screen. Look at that move, man. And so I just don't, and then you got a big hole here, you got a gap here, you got a gap here. Look, I'm telling you guys, something is setting up in this market to give us like a black swan event. And then when we get that move, I'm gonna draw this gap right here. These gaps will get filled at some point. Now, gaps can take years to get filled. Somehow I don't believe that these gonna take a long time to get filled. These are huge holes. And so, which is now if you're nimble, now if you can buy, if you know how to trade, get in and then get out, and even you got a gap here. So then maybe you can do that. But I don't like owning Meta right here. It's not a dividend paying stock. I don't believe. Let's look. No, it doesn't pay a dividend. So it's not something, as far as I'm concerned, that I want to just own and just hold on to. If you didn't get it down here, or maybe right here after it broke this high, I definitely don't want to buy it right here. So I will steer clear of it. That's just my opinion. Now, I can't, I'm not a financial advisor, so do with it, do what you want. But I don't like buying stuff this high like this. I think let's look at Google. If I'm going to look at Google is up there too. So I don't, the market looks, is a little frothy to me. Here we go. Amazon. You see how Amazon came up here and filled this gap? And so I'm looking for a big move to the downside. I expect it. So let's see what what the news is going to look like um come Monday morning about this bank failure and let's see how the market reacts to it. I would advise you to pay attention to the futures market, and the futures market should be able to tell you, give you a heads up on how the market's going to open up on Monday, right? Hey guys, if you got something out of this video, please hit the like button. It helps the video be seen. It don't cost you anything. Hit the like button. I come on here and I only do videos to try to show stuff. I ain't selling no courses and none of that stuff like that. And so I just ask that you hit the like button, or hit the thumbs down, and then comment and let me know what you didn't like, what you do like, and then give me a stock or something to pull up, and I'll do some technical analysis on it. Let me know what you want to know. Um, if you want to see me, you want me to break down like how I choose options. Um, that might be a good video to do. How I pick what options to buy or sell, um, and what goes into my thought process and technical analysis wise, like how I set up these charts and what my scans look like. Cause I got some bomb scans on Thinkorswim, so just let me know, and I try to do videos to accommodate what you guys like. With that, I'm out. Peace.